Okay, I promise you we would get to the Canadian trials. We are finally here, people. We are fine talking about us. Us here. Okay, the Canadian track and field trials went down, national championships as well, in Ottawa. AB, you were there. We need to start with that 100 meters, okay? Because I want the hold on. Where's my mug? I want the tea. How did it go? My tea bag is still here. It's not as hot, but I want to know, how did it go? Go. What happened? Talk to me.
We got to start with the semifinals. It was a fiasco, and I had known going into Ottawa that the starter likes to hold the gun, because back in 2017, he held the gun on me and I went and I false started. And if you false start there, you're not getting back in. I'll just tell you that. They are very by the book there in Ottawa. So knowing that, I was a little apprehensive coming out of the blocks. I'm like, okay, wait, be patient. And we had 4 pullbacks, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 3, 4 pullbacks, callbacks in the race. And Jerome unfortunately false started on one of them. He ran under protest and looked really good when he ran under protest, but unfortunately it didn't count. So you just see the FS on the results page, and then the rest was history. We moved on to the finals. Dwayne Asamoah came in with the win. You know, I was thinking, okay, Jerome's out. He's been the man to beat. He's the sub 10 guy. We know we had our post where it was me versus him, and Anson was picking him and stuff like that. So the main focus was me versus him. Andrea was out with injury. And so I kind of felt a little anticlimactic going into the finals, and I tried my best to stay locked in. But I'll be honest, you know, some of the air came out of the room. And then Dwayne took full advantage of that. You know, he came and flexed on me a little bit, looked over at me, talked his stuff, and congrats to him. He got his first title.
Okay. I know you can't say certain things, but I will. I didn't like how Dwayne was carrying on. I didn't like it. 10-12 is amazing. But again, I feel like there is a certain way to behave if you haven't competed or won things individually, and I didn't love it, right, at all. Also, yeah, the 4 false starts or four recalls actually shouldn't be happening. That I put more blame, honestly, not to call any one starter out, on the starter. And I do feel like there are starters in this country, okay, and officials who are watching, hope you're listening, who
Talk
it's
about
it. Yes, it's a gotcha thing. Not a spirit of the law, they're by the letter of the law. And they want to set a tone of, I want everyone still for 15 seconds in between setting the gun, exaggerating, but they hold so long that they don't understand, Aaron, that a sprinter is primed only for a quick second to hold in that position, and then you let them go. As soon as they're steady, let them go, but they kind of hold. And instead of saying, you know what, green card, yellow card, reset, it's almost like, yeah, you're out, restart. You should have control of the field, and if you're holding for long, that's how that happens. Okay, back to Dwayne. Are you, I mean, I feel like when you talked about having 12 titles, he's like, oh, I'm going to show him. He said you need to take a nap. I did not like that. I know you're cool. You don't take these things personally, but I'm like, Dwayne, it's too early for this young man. It's too early.
I know. Hey, I'll say this. Dwayne is not everybody's cup of tea. He can rub some people the wrong way. I have no problem with trash talk. And like I said earlier with Noah staring down Kenny, to the victor goes the spoil. So if he wanted to look over and talk his stuff, he won the race, and I give it to him. But I will say, he doesn't have the standard in the 100, so he probably would have been better off focusing on trying to get that in the race, because now he's going to have to, you know, try and chase it. He might not get selected because he is not the next person in line in terms of the world rankings. So he's got some work to do to run the individual 100, and if he doesn't get picked, I know he's going to be pretty upset about that. But, you know, he did win his first title, so I know he was happy about that. It seems like he felt the way that he wasn't in the conversation.
How many do you have total?
Not 1, not 2, not 3. I feel like LeBron James when he was going to Miami, but yeah, I do have 12, so he's got some work to do to catch up to me. Yeah, but you know, he's excited. You know, when you haven't been there, you know, you get excited for your first one. And I remember my first one of 12 years ago. You know, so I was a little excited too.
Let me say this, because Dwayne, I know you're watching our show. Hey, how you doing? And your family might be watching too, and they might be like, Perdita, you're so messy. Let me say this. Dwayne Asamoah did say, as did Jerome Blake, that they look up to you, they admire you, a lot of the things that you've done, so they did pay their respects to you. It's just a little bit of that spicy stuff prematurely I don't like, and this is me being an old mama bear. But let me say this. For relay depth, this is good, because there was a World Championships in 2022 where Andre DeGrasse did not run.
23.
Was it 2023?
23, yeah.
Where
Budapest.
he didn't run. Oh, that's right. It was Budapest where Andre. So I feel like Dwayne talking all his mess, go ahead.
Yeah.
But I think it is
Yeah.
good for the future of this team and relay depth, so we love to see it. Quickly, let's talk about the 200 meters because Jerome, again, was out of the 100, but he comes back and he wins the 200 meters, goes sub 20, I think it was 19.95 or something like that. Like, what do you make of that performance, that comeback in a way?
Yeah, that was amazing for him. You know, he was very frustrated that he didn't get to run in the 100. He wanted that title because he sees himself more as a 100-meter guy. But he came back and showed that he can double up and do it in the 200, a very strong run. And going into the 200-meter finals, I knew he was in great shape, and I knew he's going to be angry that he didn't make the 100-meter finals and get that title. And he came, chased me down, ran 1995, pulled me to 2008. So I'm happy I got my season's best and hit the standard. And it was a great race. And, you know, it bodes well for the pool, the relay pool, that we have so many different options to choose from. And I leave that up to Glenn Wright to choose who he wants to put out there. I don't want no parts of that. But I'm just proud of these guys. You know, it's
you put the flag on Jerome, did you not? You put the flag on.
I did.
Jerome.
I mean, I pay homage to my guys.
100%.
You know, like they earned it. They got their first titles, and again, I have 12, but I know me saying that, they're probably like, man, I'm tired of hearing that. I know, I know Dwayne, he always mentions 2023 when I won nationals, and he kept seeing that race over and over, and he's like, man, I'm tired of seeing that. And I understand, because now whenever I see their races, I'm like, man, stop showing me this race. But, you know, it's all love. And at the end of the day, it's not a real beef like in the US. Ours is more playful. It's like brothers going at it. And when we cross the line, I show love. So shout out to Dwayne, shout out to Jerome. You guys earned your titles this year. I'm coming back for you guys next year, but we got bigger fish to fry, and it's just the Canadian Championships. We make the team, and now we're on to Tokyo.
That's right. So your name, if you're a rapper, is not Pusher A or Pusher T or Pusher. You know what I'm saying? We're not doing that. It's all love. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
All right. I like that.
All right. So that was the men, and now we got to get to the women. So we got to show some love to the women's sprints, and specifically Audrey Leduc. She went head-to-head with Sade in the 100-meter finals after the two of them both lowered the Canadian record this season. Audrey came out on top with a time of 11:06, which was good enough for a new championship record. And if that wasn't enough, she followed up by completing the double, taking home the 200-meter title with a time of 22:55. So Perdita, is Audrey now the undisputed #1 Canadian sprinter this year and of all time?
You know what? I think of her time right now, not all time yet. We got to see a little bit more from Miss Audrey, but of this time, absolutely undisputed, she is the one. And I also love this back and forth between her and Sade McCreath. Hopefully, we can get a hold of them and they can both be on our show, because I think the both of us would love to interview them to see how they kind of see this. You know, but of course, it's world season. People are locking it down, but we'll see if we can talk to them. But I think right now, Audrey, she is the one to beat. And Anson Henry was on our show the last episode or whatever episode he was on. And he's like, oh, I think she might be getting complacent. Anson, eat your words. Audrey's the one.
Yep. Shout out to Audrey.
Shout out to Audrey. So the other thing I think you and I were talking about we love to do is the fact that at nationals, you get to see a glimpse of the future. And we really want to shout out some of these young athletes. You might have not heard their names before, but who are really showing us who is coming up on the Canadian track and field landscape. I want to start with the big result in the 100 meters on the U20 side. In the men's event, Tuni Ogunyeyi of Brampton, Ontario, left Ottawa with the national record for his age group. He stormed 10.23. That actually broke Andre DeGrasse's mark of 10.25, set in 2003. Also in this race was 17-year-old sprinting sensation Wyatt Lee, we've talked about him here before on our show, who finished second with a time of 10:41. The 19-year-old Ogunyeyi said he had been working all season to break the record, and after the race, he said he wouldn't be surprised if Wyatt Lee actually broke his U20 Canadian record in the coming years. AB, I like it, and I like their confidence.
I love it. And, you know, they're two young stars in the making, and it's been a while since we had guys running times like this at that age group, and I love to see it, because you can see, okay, these are the guys that are going to bridge the gap and get Canada onto the map when our crop of sprinters retires. And I love that he broke Andre's record, because now it's not just me that got my record broken. Andre, you can feel the same way and give respects to the next generation. But I'm with Tooney. I think Wyatt is going to be the one to break it in the future as well. He's already running against the under 20 guys as a 17-year-old, and I'm bullish on his ceiling. But both these guys are in the Flying Angels track club, which is my track club now. So it's great to be in the same group and kind of throw some love towards them. I gave them both a follow on Instagram after this championship because they earned it. And
nice.
I'm gonna be a supporter of the next generation.
Are you gonna like their post and
I just
actually
want to see the
interact?
flourish.
Are you gonna like
Yeah,
and
of
interact
course,
on
of
their post
course,
though?
of
Or you're
course.
just there to be
Yeah.
a number? Okay, just checking.
No. I'm not a ghost follower. I'm definitely gonna support them, and
You're gonna drop a
whenever they
comment.
have some fire posts, yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna drop some fire emojis and say all the best, and maybe send them a DM here and there, and
like
just
that.
give them some encouragement. Because
like
when I was
that.
young, those things meant the world to me. So shout out to them.
Facts.
Okay, keeping the next generation theme going on, in the men's 1500 meter senior final, it was the 21-year-old Max Davies who stole the show. In a field that featured Olympians Kieran Lum, Jean-Simon Degagné, and CPT, it was the U Sports athlete Davies that claimed his first national title. The 21-year-old just came off setting the under 23 Canadian record at the 1500 meters. He did that at the Harry Jerome Classic on July 15th with a time of 3 minutes 35 seconds. Perdita, do you love seeing these fresh faces making noise at the Canadian Championships?
I feel so happy for them. You know what, Aaron, we can remember being junior athletes, right? And going and competing at seniors. And like, whether you win or you come fifth, you're beating somebody. And so I could just imagine the confidence and the bravado and them just feeling really, really good about their seasons and about their futures, going into a championship like that and being the likes of the names that you just said. So I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Yep. You have nothing to lose at that age. And I remember when I was a junior, I finished third in the 100, and I felt like these guys can't tell me anything.
You see
so
it?
the confidence it just gets boosted. So shout out to them.
All right, we have to talk about Jackson McKay. He just won his second straight U20 Decathlon national title, and he did it with a Canadian record, 7,652 points. And for some context, Damian Warner, you know him, Olympic champion, his under 20 personal best was a score of 7,449, so a good 200 points higher. All to say, this kid is special. And like Damien, he's from London, Ontario. What the heck are they eating over there? But anyways, he will also be attending the University of Western next season. And he's also a dual sport athlete, taking home Ontario High School football first team quarterback honors. In fact, he actually pulled out of a track and field scholarship at the University of Cincinnati just so he's able to compete on both the football and track and field teams at Western next season. Honestly, AB, I feel like this is a name that we are going to be hearing a lot about in the future.
Hey, I mean, we might be called Athletics Canada right now, but in the future, if this guy pops off, we might be Athletics Decathlon Canada, Like we just produced
knew you were
them. We
gonna go
got
there.
Pierce Lepage, we got Damian Warner, and now enter Jackson
Facts.
McKay. It's great to see the next generation stepping up, and he's another one. We've had a very strong event in the multis, so it's great to add him to the arsenal, and I'm looking forward to see his progress. And turning down a U.S. scholarship to stay in Canada, he's a local boy. You gotta love that, It's not often you see that. Yeah,
right.
So,
if your mom and dad, you're loving this, you're like, okay, yeah,
exactly.
for his family, right?
Keep my baby home. Yeah.
This
Shout out
is
to mom and dad.
Yeah, come home, do your laundry.
Exactly.
Shout out to you. Shout out to you, sir. That is really cool. It is time for this week's shout out. And of course, it's going to Gabriella Debue's Stafford. Of course it is. And of course, you knew that. Gabby recently told CBC Sports she set a goal to run the 1500 and the 5000 for the first time at a major championship. Well, on Thursday night, she won her sixth national title in the 5,000. 15:17:32 was her time. She made her first national team since 2022. Basically, her last 2 years have really been injury-plagued. Now, on Sunday, just 3 nights later, Gabby took home the 1500-meter title as well, making good on her overall goal. But the story gets even better. Her little sister Lucia, finished second, just 2 seconds behind. They were in Tokyo together for the Olympics and could also be there again in September. AB, I love this story. So good to see Gabby back and in top form.
Absolutely. And this is a good feel good story to
Yes.
juxtapose with all the beef that we had in the US Nationals. We show them how we get down in Canada.
This is
You know,
it.
I show love to my teammates, even though they're looking at me, whatever, at the end, it's
Mm-hmm.
all love. But it's great to see Gabby back on the scene. You know, she was a force back in the day and she's dealt with some injuries and stuff like that. But it's to see her on the comeback trail,
Yes.
I'm very excited to see her progress. And I know she can be a force again. So it's good to see her and bring her sister along for the ride. You know, it's good to see the Gabby
Yeah.
Lucia combo back in action and showing some love. You know, spread more love. You know,
Yes.
all this track beef. You know,
This
we
is
can't have
it.
we can't have all the spice. We gotta put a little sugar in our
Look,
tea.
I like it. A little sugar in our tea, no more spice.